mother, tell your children not to walk my way.
Hello all, and
Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say.
wrestling. Didn't watch Impact, though everything I've seen and heard and read and everything else about Impact sounded like it was pretty good. Though I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on it. I did see parts of Raw, it was okay. I did see ECW though. ECW was very good in my opinion. And of course, I haven't seen SmackDown as it just started, and I probably won't see it as I'm still moving and packing and just simply taking a break from doing that. All of that said, let's get started here with Oliver. Of course, made a response, for those of you who have not seen it, to my Genesis review, and he had some problems, and so I'm going to kind of comment back on what he commented to me on. You know, fair debate. I'm all for that. First of all, he brought up the 3D Motor City Machine Guns match and the problems I had with it. First of all, he took exception to the fact that I said that Motor City Machine Guns carried Team 3D. He thought it was more of a give or take. I don't really think so, though I didn't mean carried in a bad way. If it came off as me saying, oh, well, they carried them in a horrible way, then I'm sorry I said that. But that's not what I meant. I just meant that they carried them to a good match, which no one else outside of LAX, in my opinion, has been able to do. So I think that's what I meant by shows how good of a tag team they are, because I probably didn't go into detail enough. That LAX was the only other team, in my opinion, to have done that. A lot of people have also asked why I didn't, think that the spot at the end of the match deserved a lot of credit. And here's why: because I've seen the spot before. I'm sure there's lots of other people on here that have seen the spot or variations of that spot involving the table before, in which usually, that spot basically is a variation of two spots that I've seen the original Tiger Mask. Basically, the first one was he would run up a guy's chest and do the backflip off of, which was supposed to hurt the guy, and the other would be he'd get thrown into the corner, run up the turnbuckles, and flip off the corner, which I believe is actually more of a lucha libre move, and probably invented there, as it does seem like a very big lucha libre move. I know I've seen it. I've seen that spot involved in tag team matches, basically with what happened with Team 3D Motor City Machine Guns, just not involving a table. Though I do know that I've seen a guy run up a table, flip off, and the other guy go through the table. So it's a variation of that, and that's why I wasn't just like, oh my god, that was the greatest spot ever, because I've seen this spot before. So that's why. I did think it was a good spot, though. I don't mean to say that, oh, been there, done that. But it was a good spot all the same. But it's why I didn't mark out as much as probably some people did. Let's see, what else? Oh, and I talked about the carrying thing, and yeah. So then that leads to the X Division match, in which he got upset because I said that they buried the X Division again. Here's why I said that: because I don't feel like they needed to have Team 3D go out and attack Lethal and Dutt at the pay-per-view. I think they should have waited until Impact, where I think it would have been more impactful, to, do a play on words. I think it would have been better. I think it would have made more sense. I think that you would have gotten even more heat on them. Doing it at the pay-per-view just seemed kind of like, why are you doing this at the pay-per-view type of thing. And then, of course, he brought up the issue of Robert Roode and Samoa Joe, which he kind of agreed, but he kind of disagreed with me on. I agree that they could have booked this match to where it would have belonged on the pay-per-view, though that's not really what I meant. As soon as they announced this match, I was like, this is a match that the WWE, now people would say, well, the WWE has this luxury, but the WWE, in my opinion, if they did this match, this would be Kennedy versus Carlito, or someone of that nature, or where you wouldn't do that on necessarily on a pay-per-view. You would do it on Raw, and that's kind of what I meant by it. Though the match that they had, I definitely felt was just should have happened on Impact, because here's my thing with Robert Roode. When people say Robert Roode has too much offense, that's a bad sign. That means there's definitely something wrong with the guy, in my opinion. But that was my problem with it. I would have, this is the thing with Joe. When they don't have anything to do with Joe, because Joe is perfect for this, they have that nice, deal with New Japan. That's who they need to use it with. is bring in guys from New Japan, bring in guys that could wrestle Joe and put on a really good match. Just one match. The Puro freaks can freak out. The guys like me that love Joe and understand what goes on in Japan can freak out. Do a match like that. That I would much rather see that than them just throw Robert Roode in the picture and have just a match that felt like it should have been on Impact, which has been better, by the way. I will admit. Impact. I didn't watch Impact this week, but from everything I've read and what I've been told, it sounded like it was a lot better than what it has been, which is good. Though I'm not too sure. I'm too crazy about Joe and the Outsiders, but oh well, what you gonna do? I think that was all the stuff he brought up. If I left something out, I'm sure he will mention it. But I think that was everything. And Oliver, you can delete one of the two posts on the post that I did. YouTube is being stupid. But to part 2. On WrestleZone, I think it's WrestleZone, right? Yes, WrestleZone.com has a new feature up, which is Conan, basically with a audio blog, him being kind of a question and answer show, with him talking about certain things, talking about a very number of things. And the first one went up. Let's see. It looks like today. Was it today or yesterday? It was today, and it was very informative. He talked a lot about TNA, which is what a lot of people wanted him to talk about, which is not too surprising. And he brought up a lot of things. He brought up the fact that he felt Dixie Carter basically has her head in the sand. The fact that he felt like Jarrett and Martel, Mantel, don't have a clue, that they're out of sync with what the key demographic is, which is the younger demographic that they're going for. That they don't really get what those people find, those individuals, that demographic finds entertaining. He said neither of them watches South Park, CSI, numerous other hit shows, Family Guy, things like that. And he said that if you're going to be a writer on a television show, you need to be aware of these types of shows and see what they're doing that works and doesn't work, and what you can incorporate and not incorporate, that sort of thing. He also said that he felt like wrestling needed to take a much more realistic approach, a much more, as he put it, a much more of a Japanese strong style approach. He basically thought both companies were just throwing crap out there and hoping people would like it, and talking down to people, and the whole bit that you've heard of before. He did get into some of what he thought were some other problems with TNA as far as booking. He felt it was much. He used much stronger words, and I'm not going to use the words he used, or the tone that he used. But basically, he felt like TNA used a much more old Southern style booking, which it's 2007. We're a little beyond that. He brought up LAX as a good example because he wanted to bring in Ron Killings into LAX. They told him no. They wanted Ron Killings to basically form his own faction and then have LAX and Ron Killings faction kind of going against each other. And he was like, who wants to see that? Only, white rednecks want to see that. So there you go. What are some other things he brought up? He brought up that he felt Russo gets a bad rap. He thought that he said a lot of his ideas get shot down right away. So we're not seeing Russo's stuff on television, and just things like that. I mean, it's a very interesting interview. I would recommend everybody checking it out. He has his own slight, so keep that in mind. He's not happy with TNA, so he's going to say a lot of things that aren't real keen on TNA. But a lot of what he says is very good. And one thing, and I would say this to Bill and Doug, who say that, oh, TNA listens to us, oh, TNA this. Apparently, TNA, after pay-per-views, after Impacts, looks at the production meetings, looks at what the internet says, looks at it, and says, well, these people have never been in the business, don't know anything about the business, have never been in the ring, so why should we listen to them anyways? That's the same crap we've been hearing from wrestling promoters forever, who don't want to listen to wrestling fans because they feel like they're stupid and they think their way or the highway. It's what's gotten WWE in trouble. It's what got WCW in trouble. It's what's now going to get TNA in trouble. and that's the truth. Because there's a lot of fans that I feel that are just as smart as the guys working backstage, and in some cases better. And sometimes when fans bring up valid points, they should listen to them. There's what I got to say about that. Anyways, I'm out. Have a good one, folks. Bye.